Hey guys, it's Francina Simone, and today I am here with a February TBR. So I didn't include these books in my book haul because I got them from the library and they were just for my TBR. So I figured I'd make two separate videos instead of one extra long video. But technically I've hauled these books as well because apparently none of the books I bought were good enough to read for February. So let's just jump into it. So these are going to be in order to which I'm most interested in reading and tackling first. First one is Truth Witch by Susan Dennard. I've seen this floating around on BookTube and I'm actually really interested in the premise, which there are two witches, they're best friends, and they seem like they're kind of like low-key, like rebel troublemakers. Like they be rebelling. Yeah, like not like rebelling against the world, but rebelling against, like general society. We do our own thing. But shit gets real and war happens and bitches be running and they're like, you ain't gonna use me. And they be like, we is gonna use you. So I'm really interested in reading this because it just turns into like an adventure. It's about two chicks. They're bonding. They're best friends and they're working together to stay alive while simultaneously being badass. The next one is Poison Study by Maria Snyder. I actually wanted to read this book years ago. I think this came out back in 2008, but 2005, shit. So I saw this book a long ass time ago and I was actually really interested in reading it, but I never picked it up. I think it might have been the cover that stopped me. It seemed a little like historical romancy and I didn't really get it, and I was just like, plot sounds interesting, but that cover looks deterring. Plus, this is when they really started the rise. I think it was in 2008 I saw this book, and this is when the rise of chick on the cover, she's supposed to be pretty and alluring and look like America's favorite sweetheart, and I was just not feeling those kind of covers because they told me nothing about the story, and they weren't that great, so I figured if the cover's not that great, the book's probably not that great. Terrible judgment, but whatever. So if you don't know about this one, it's about a girl who is sentenced to death, and she's allowed to become a food taster for the king, and she's being constantly poisoned every day to ensure that she does her job and does her job well, and she has to show up to get the antidote every day, and so she's trying to find a way to escape. Meanwhile, there's a plot by the rebellion to take over shit, and this chick is developing powers. Woo! That's a lot on one plate. You like the food pun there? A lot on one plate. She's a food tester. Next is The Kiss of Deception. I've been hearing a lot about this book, but I haven't actually read it. I've heard good reviews, and I've heard meh reviews, and I'm just interested to see whether I like it or not. It's about a princess, and she is part of an arranged marriage, and she runs away from home because she's like, fuck that shit. She ends up in a village. Her dad sends out an assassin to kill her. Wow, daddy issues. And while she's in this village, the assassin and her jilted, soon-to-be husband, but ain't gonna be because she ran away, are there, and apparently they know who she is, and the plot ensues. Now, I think the interesting thing about this that really kind of hooked me in was the fact that she's actually interacting with these two dudes, and she doesn't know who either of them are, but I think they know who she is, so it's really interesting. I hope that it's not obvious in the book. I hear that it's crazy, plot twisty, and real interesting and real intriguey, so don't let me down. The next one is called The Poisoned Blade, and this is a Court of Five novels. This one I just saw at the library. It's by Kate Elliott, and it looks fairly new. This came out last year, so I didn't hear anything about this book. I don't know if it's just because I'm deaf, dumb, and blind. Now, the cover sounds pretty interesting. It's kind of got it's got kind of a throne of glass thing going on, where this chick's using a competition to win a reward of some type of monetary value to keep her family safe and alive and hidden. So I don't know what's going on there, but it sounds like she's got a sketchy past. Also, she's in love with the prince, I believe, and they are at war now all of a sudden. So not only does she have to win the game, but then she also needs to become a warrior to help protect the people that she loves and maybe the kingdom that she loves. Maybe, I don't know how this works out. However, it sounds interesting. It's got the competition thing going on, and because I was let down by the Throne of Glass series and how that was handled, I'm hoping it's interesting in here. But I'm also starting to feel like this trope is being played over and over and over again, the competition thing, ever since 2008. We've had so many fantasy books that all start with competitions, and it's always this chick, and she's always badass, and she always needs to win it, and there's always something else going on. But if it's a trope you like, why not? I dig it sometimes, and I'm hoping that I dig it with this one. Poisoned Blade, y'all. Next is totally has nothing to do with anything that that I ever talk about on this channel, really. And this is The Danish Way of Parenting. You guys know I have kids, so I like to read parenting books every now and again. Next is Passenger by Alexander Bracken. You guys know, like, it's going around and around and around that Wayfarer is out. And I think this is a duology. I think Wayfarer is the last of the book. But it just came out, and everybody's like doing sponsored videos about it. So I figured, since a lot of reviews are coming in that that book is really neat, I might read this one. However, I got it from the library, obviously, because I haven't heard that many great things about it. I've heard very split reviews. Either people love it or they don't. And I'm interested to see how I feel. This one's about a girl who lives a normal life, but then finds out that she's part of a family of time travelers. And she finds out because the chick gets time traveled to the past, and she's like, whoa! So she's like trying to navigate this. Meanwhile, people are looking for something and they think she's the key, and dangerous situations happen, and I'm pretty sure there's a dude in here, and I'm not completely sure how I'm gonna feel about this book, or if I'm even that excited to read it, but I'm giving it a chance. Check it out. Last but not least is The Unwanteds by Lisa McMahon. Now this book is a middle grade series, and I thought it was kind of cool because it's about kids who are wanted. It kind of has this divergent feel to it where you're either categorized as the strong wanted or an intelligent wanted, and then the artistic wanteds are like killed. So kind of divergent-y, but not super divergent-y. This place has tons of magic, and it follows two twins. One of them is wanted, and another one got caught, like, literally drawing in the sand with a stick. And so I think he thinks he's, like, gonna get killed. But lo and behold, they find a mentor named Mr. Today, and this is where it takes a really middle grade-y kind of twist with the mentor and the magic and, you know, fighting for the good of things. And so I'm interested as intrigued. I'm hoping that it's not too campy. I'm hoping that it takes like a dark kind of complex edge to it, but that might be asking a lot for this book. I don't know. I'm going into it hoping that I have a good time, and that's it. So guys, that is it for my TBR. I think that's like 7 books, and I'm not really putting too much pressure on myself to like get through all of those, but those are what I'm interested in trying to read. Totally mostly fantasy. I don't think there's a non-fantasy book in that bunch. However, let me know down below which one you're most interested in getting a review on, and let me know what is on your list of things to read this month, or just your favorite, most anticipated book to read this month. And as always, you know, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Goodreads. Also, don't forget, The Keeper's Vow is on sale for ebook and paperback, and there is a link down below. And big news, Darkness Comes at Dawn. I've finished copy editing it. I've got the go-ahead to show the cover on it, so I am working on the cover reveal as we speak. And lots of juicy good things to come about book 2 of the Guardians trilogy. So stick with me on that ride, guys. And on that note, I better go start reading or working or chipping off the very long to-do list that I've got going on in my life these days. So TTYL, ta-ta for now. Bye.